Let's go ahead and kick this off. Very basic. I guess this is going to be our first episode here of Nerd.
Okay, perfect.
NRD, what was it? Nerd.
Yep.
Resurrection Department.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's really good.
Yeah. Of course, dude. Yeah. So the NRD, the Nerd Resurrection Department. Something new we wanted to try, I guess, and just like we've been playing around with this. We've met a couple of times, and just had some really cool conversations about comics and sci-fi and Pokemon cards, Garbage Pail Kids. I mean, like just about everything. And something I think I want to start going forward with, kind of like a nerd chat. If you
Okay,
will,
that would be
you
adding what they want to. I'd love that.
You know, just kind of like something we can put out there for people. So I'm Robert here, and I got my good friend Josh with me, and both of us, man, we've been going through some trials. We're not going to go too deep into our personal stuff, but some trials and tribulations these last few days. Like the weekend hasn't been easy. And I think both of us can agree that just hanging out and talking about this nerd stuff, dude, it helps, right? Like,
yes, sir.
We do it every week. I thought we might do this like once a month, but then you were like, no, let's do this like every week. And honestly,
it's therapeutic.
It is, man. And I was talking about this earlier. Like I watched the Comic Book Men and some of these other things, and that's exactly what they were talking about in this. And going to these comic shops and like. These guys are saying like they save money on therapy bills just going into these places and having conversations and venting. It's not always about comics and stuff like that. Sometimes it's about other things, and just getting that out there and just sharing stuff. I think it helps. And speaking of comic shops, we tried to hit one up today. It was sadly closed. But what's cool is I found you can start getting comics now at the Dollar Tree. Yeah. How crazy is that, right? Like I was in there the other day just kind of walking around trying to get out of my head, and I walk by and I'm seeing comic books in the Dollar Tree. I've got a few issues. I picked a couple up for myself, our man Wilden who wasn't here, and for Josh, and they're like $1.25 an issue. They're clearly like printed for the Dollar Tree. Like if you look at the backs, it's all the same, like
like stickers.
Yeah, and it's all very basic. The paper isn't the same quality. It's almost like the same paper you might find on like the free comic books. It's not as heavy. It's not as thick.
Shorter stories.
No, they're complete.
Are they complete stories?
They're complete stories.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
that's something else for you to check out. If they're complete stories, that way you can try to collect the whole series.
Right, it's a great starting point. Like,
yes.
And I think that's the cool piece is like you get the whole story. They're all #1 issues, and they're all jump balls. So that's the thing. I think if you're looking for something to get into, and you're like, I'm not really even sure like what I would like or what character, you could literally go in with like $5. Grab a couple of issues and just kind of figure out like what you like and what you don't like. So.
And are there Marvel as well, or is it just DC?
It's just DC titles.
Okay.
I don't see any for Marvel, but I would be surprised if Marvel doesn't jump on that bandwagon.
Maybe Five Below has the Marvel comics.
Maybe there's something else out there. You have to like look into that.
Yeah.
But apparently it's something that they've been doing for a while. Some people have posted on TikTok about it. And a couple of people have been like, yeah, I guess these racks, they put out these little displays, it's all the same books. So once you've got them all, I don't think there's really any more to find, but I mean, there's like over a dozen different titles. I mean, I was telling you I had like, there's like a Crypto, there's a Flash, there's a ton of different Batman and Green Arrows. I mean, like multiple Justice Leagues, there was a Black Lightning.
Oh, neat.
I mean, just like everything you could possibly think of from DC, they had them there.
And the artwork is superb.
Yeah, and like I said, it's all these great cover artists.
Catwoman's been written and drawn by Jones and Elric. That's really cool too.
No, the artwork is amazing. I like how the W kind of stands out like claw marks a little bit on that.
Really neat looking.
Yeah. But like I said, it was just really surprising. I think also too, like outside of like this is something where me and you can geek out over,
exactly.
Being fans, but like imagine a kid who's maybe 10, 12 years old, might be in there with their mom, and what a great way for them to get exposed to comics, Like I thought that was the really cool piece too, is that this is something great for like new readers. They're not expensive, so it's something that I think a parent would be like, oh yeah, $1.25, sure, get a couple. And like I said, they could go home. That's kind of like how I got started, you know, just going to the grocery store with my dad. They used to have the little spinner racks back in the 90s with all this. Oh man, that dude, that shop we went to earlier, he had some cool spinner racks
Yes.
with some really cool books on there as well. But that was what I got, you know, into when I was growing up, was like the spinner rack books at the grocery store. And even though it's not a rack, it's more of like a cardboard stand.
Mhm.
That's kind of what it reminded me. It was like a two-sided cardboard like spinner rack, if you will.
And I agree with you, Robert. That's what got me into it, was seeing the spinner racks. Not only that, but the different artwork they did and the different covers. I used to love the foil covers, the cutout covers. And that's what's neat about these books, is that when you see them, you get excited about reading them, because you're like, wow, look at Superman. He looks so buff and muscular. Look at Batman, you know, or the Green Arrow. He's actually had an arrow in his hand. And like, it just stopped.
I like the Catwoman too. It's kind of like a burlesque look to it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
kind of like that fancy burlesque look. And then it even has like, there's the Superman All-Star,
Oh,
which
cool.
this is a cool cover. It looks like he's like sitting on a cloud and just kind of like looking down on Metropolis, like just hanging out in the park. The creator behind this team is Grant Morrison and Frank Wiley. Grant Morrison is, of course, you know, infamous writer in the comic world. He got the idea for Superman All-Star when he was like just kind of walking around in, I think it was New York one day.
Oh, really?
And there was literally a guy wearing a Superman costume in the park, sitting on a boulder, and just kind of sitting there like, you know, looking out with his hands on his, you know, under his head. And he just had this look, and he was like, wow, that guy doesn't have a care in the world. He's just sitting in his Superman suit, sitting on a rock, just thinking, and he goes, that's Superman. He was like, you know, like everybody pictures, like you're saying, like this dynamic photo of like Superman here, or a picture of Superman where he's got the muscles, and he's got this heroic, like flexing pose. And he was like, but if you had all of this power and all of this strength, wouldn't you just be like the most chill, just relaxed kind of guy? We'd just be kind of hanging out, like not a care in the world. I was like, and that is a cool story to me. And then that's where this whole idea of the story came from. And they put Superman against something that he's never had to face before.
Okay.
And that, well, I'm not going to ruin it.
Okay, that's true. I'm now excited.
Well, it's a 12-part issue. If you've never read this, look for the trade paperback, read it. It's amazing. And it's a story where like it's not about strength and stopping a speeding bullet or, you know, train and all. It's all about the real life things that you can't handle. Kind of like what I was talking about at the beginning of this. You know, there's things that me and you are going through, and there's things where it's like it's not about superpowers, and it's not about, you know, your kryptonite weaknesses.
Yes.
The things that really affect you and you have to like overcome are those things like, you know, sudden illnesses, or maybe a passing, or something happens to a friend of yours, and it's like, oh man, how do I find the strength?
How do I cope?
And to deal with that, and that's what this story's about.
Oh, neat.
So actually, you know what? You should take this. You should take this and read this, and I'll grab another one from the Dollar Tree, because that's actually a really good story.
Well, I think because he doesn't have his muscles flexed. And the cover art makes him look so peaceful and just at home, and just like the world is just his oyster.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's kind of the thing, like, with all of his strength and power, even though he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders, he's just hanging out, looking at Metropolis, like, you know, he's just watching kids play in a park, you know. It's just like such a relaxing, cool vibe.
I love that. Absolutely love that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like I said, I just thought it was a cool thing, man. I was like walking around, like I said, just trying to get out of my head, and all of a sudden I'm like, what the frick? Dollar Tree's got comic books? Man, what? And that's like $1.25 prices, dude. That's like the prices me and you were paying when we first started collecting back in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I was paying like $1 to $1.50.
Yep.
And then it jumped to $1.75. And I remember thinking like, holy smokes.
Yep.
Major issues like the foil ones and those things you're talking about, $2.50 for an issue like that. So maybe like twice the price.
Which is interesting on these books is that if you look, it actually has the original price of $3.09.
$4, $5, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. These are $4 books, and you're paying $1.25 and getting the same stories. And like I said, they're not going to be worth the same that you're going to be getting them off the rack. But what a great way to jump into the world, man.
Exactly.
What a
For
great
young
way.
kids, like you
Yeah.
were saying, especially when they look and they see, Superman just bulked out with the Justice League. The Last Ride is what this book's called. And seeing this, you have Wonder Woman, you have Batman.
You got the Trinity,
Yep.
yeah, the Holy Trinity there, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It's awesome.
Yes, it is. It's really neat.
And then too, like I said, not only for new readers, but then like, again, like if I can't make it to the comic shop or I've only got a couple of blocks, let me go run to Dollar Tree real quick and just grab me a couple of issues. It's a cool thing, man. It's really fun.
And if you get a chance, also check out Catwoman. As Robert was saying earlier, the W on there is really wild looking. It actually looks like she took it, was scratched into the page.
I didn't even notice that she's also reading an issue of Batman. If you look
Yep.
closely in her hand, she's holding a Batman comic book. I didn't even notice that.
And is that Arkham Asylum?
It's just like a random Batman issue.
Okay, where she's hugging him.
It's like Batman issue 50 or something like
Yeah.
that. That's crazy. Wow. Well, I've also got some other comics here. We're hanging out. We don't have, like I said, Wilden with us. I wanted him to be here for this episode. It's a special episode. It's not only like we're kicking off this first time doing this here after kind of practicing and running through these, but it's also May the 4th.
Yes.
I think for every Star Wars fan, I've been watching the movies all weekend, going through the shows, reading the comics, really just getting wrapped up in the universe. And I thought, what more fun topic to talk about than Star Wars for like our very first premiere kickoff episode. I even brought some cool Star Wars comics. We've got a Mace Windu one shot there from Dark Horse that was done during the prequels. I think along with this one as well, this is a Star Wars Empire book with Leia there showing off her skills as a soldier.
That's amazing.
And then of course Dark Horse as well. We've got the
Look at
number
Anakin.
one of the episode 3 adaptation. So this is like a look at the actual movie told through the pages of the comic there, which I thought was really cool.
I wish you guys could see the cover of this.
Yeah, I think at some point I will start maybe televising some of these, maybe showing the cover, setting up
Yeah,
like
that
a
would-
camera, and they can kind of see
I think they really should because it's
what these
the
look like.
artwork is just amazing. I think that's what also gets kids, adults, people like that involved is the artwork, and your eye catches it, and you're like, wow, this is something I would really like.
You know what? Stay tuned. Stay tuned. After the episode, I'll show you guys all the. I'll shoot some video of the covers. So stay tuned after these. Like probably maybe the second part, and we'll show you guys the.
Because this one of Mace Windu, it looks just like Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, no, it's a great sketch. Like it's perfect.
Yeah, it's unbelievable,
Uh-huh.
and it's done by Dark Horse, which
They did
independent,
great.
which is fantastic.
They did awesome Star Wars comics, man. Like their Star Wars, their sci-fi, it was amazing. I like the Marvel stuff. I like the IDW and who else does them? I think it's IDW and Marvel. But I mean, nothing really compares to the Dark Horse stuff. Although this Dark Droids by Marvel has been really fun, and I brought a couple of issues just from like the Vader. This is the Darth Vader run, issue 38 and 39 for the Dark Droids. But as you can see, they're being like taken over with the purple eyes. It's kind of like a plague, and they're one by one being taken over by a hive mind. And then once they've been taken over by a hive mind, they'll take over a whole ship, literally chop people up into pieces.
What?
It's crazy. And then of course they find people who have like cybernetic enhancements and then try to use them as well. So it's about taking over metal and then eventually coming for the flesh. It's wild.
Wow.
It's so creepy. It's one of the wildest stories I've read.
And the purple eyes are incredible.
Yeah, they have like C-3PO, like they have, well there's like a silver one, but they actually have like C-3PO's been possessed at this point.
Really?
Lobot. Lando Calrissian's boy.
Now is Darth Vader being taken over too?
Yeah, at some point he gets taken over.
Yeah, I see him there. His lightsaber is still the dark side, but he looks like he's taking on an actual droid himself.
Yeah, he's taking over a droid. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Uh-huh.
Daggone.
Yeah, it's one of the better stories. Like a lot of the Star Wars stuff that I read takes place in between episodes. 5 and 6.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, it takes place between episodes 5 and 6. So it's kind of like they're looking for Han and the carbonite. There's all this stuff leading up to the whole mission of getting him back, and it's really cool. It's a really cool filler piece. Like it shows you all the stuff that happens in between the two movies, and it's all told through these comic book stories.
Oh, neat.
And then this is part of that. So like as they're plotting to get Han back, this little side story starts to take place, and they actually go to Jabba's palace in one part of the story and see Han on the wall. It's
What?
Lando sees him on
Really?
the wall, but he's there for a mission, and it's kind of like, sorry, old friend,
I can't help you
you right now. But like, it's so crazy. They have like the Rancor and like all these things and pieces that you get to see later on. But it's just a very interesting story. And then like most of them are just little side missions and how do we get these plans and what, Darth Vader's dealing with losing control of the Force through certain parts of it. And then at one point, I think because he gets possessed by this hive mind, he has to reassimilate all new cybernetic pieces. And it's really cool stories. But this particular piece is chilling, it's haunting, it's like you're reading it and then all of a sudden you feel like you're reading like a zombie.
Oh, neat.
Like a zombie book, like something like Resident Evil, but with droids. It's really far out.
I agree. I think that's very interesting. I need to actually read these. Side note, I haven't had a chance to read them yet, but I need to check those out.
Yeah. No, I'm sure at this point you could probably find the Dark Droids on like a trade paperback collection.
that'd
Like
be
the
excellent.
whole thing, because it's a multi crossover event. Like it went on for
Also, you can get this digital.
yeah, they have it available in digital. And it's crazy, but it's like
The artwork.
oh no, the artwork is beautiful on some of this. But look at this is the crossover. So it's over August, September, October, November, December across Dark Droids, the D1 or the D Squad series, which are two separate titles. Then the main Star Wars story, Darth Vader, Dr. Afra, and then Bounty Hunters. So it's told over like 6 titles over like 5 months. It's crazy how many books are involved. So I would recommend if you can find like a trade paperback, get the trade paperback. But like they kick R2 out of the ship because he knew too much, and then he winds up hooking up with these other droids and kind of forming like a droid squad. You got Chopper from Rebels in there, which is he's one of my favorite droids.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. You got IG-88, one of the pit droids from the Phantom Menace.
I like Phantom Menace. That's good.
Those are so hard to watch, dude. I was watching those yesterday, man. Those
Okay,
prequels. Do we want to jump into those, man?
I have to ask you. So, this is my question for you, Robert. You're the man when it comes to this.
All right.
If y'all don't know, Robert is kind of the leader of the group. He is our liaison of different things.
The man who knows a lot about nothing.
No, that's not true. What do you feel like the AI was so good for the movies they did after they did the original runs?
Well, I'm conflicted. You're talking about like the special effects and stuff?
Yes.
Well, I'm conflicted because
Okay.
I think there are those out there who will say that they improved the Star Wars
Which I think
stories.
they did.
And I think now with the storytelling, it's great that we can look at like Phantom Menace, I think shows its age when it comes to the special effects, but it was included in the original run, and then everything going forward, you have practical digital effects being used to make movies that were like the original films. My issue is the original films with their updated enhancements.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
That really rubs me the wrong way, and it really bothers me. And the more I look at it over the years, George Lucas just really pisses me off. Like
Really?
he just really gets under my skin, and I really feel like as much credit as you can give him for creating Star Wars,
Exactly.
that is really the only thing you can give him credit for. I think after that, everything else, the success of it and how it was like promoted, doesn't really fall on him. it really falls on the company and then the success and then the love of it for the other fans. And what I mean by that is, he directed the original film and the prequels, and those are the most god awful films out of the whole series. The original, I'll give credit to because you can't have the whole story without the original, and I think it's meant to be kind of campy. It's meant to be fun, but you've got stuff in there like, but I wanted to go to Tossie Station and get power converters with my friends. And it's no different than some of the cheesy lines you're going to find in Phantom Menace and in
Yeah,
some of
but
the stuff.
young Anakin, though, Robert, you have to admit, I mean,
Yippee!
yeah, but he was a kid, man. Like, he was not old, he was not evil yet, he was not.
Well, and again,
he was
Luke,
good at that time.
but Luke is also very much a kid too, and that's the whole thing. Like, it's all these like, all right, let's do a barrel roll, whoop-de-woo, and like,
Yes.
it's very cheesy. You look at all the other stories. The only great lines from the original Star Wars, and fight me on this if you want to, people, are the Han Solo lines. Outside of the Han Solo lines, you don't really have anything that stands out. Like, they're all just very like, very bland, very plain. It's a Han Solo movie all the way. And when you get to Empire Strikes Back
Yes.
and Return of the Jedi, those films are absolutely amazing. But they weren't directed by George Lucas. And even though he created those films, so they were directed by, the second one was directed by his film teacher. And then the third one was directed by some German, like, avant-garde, like artsy-fartsy person.
Okay, that's not
And you look at it, it's the tones, like the tone of the second and the third one, like they're so different than the other movies. And then you look at what was made by like even J.J. Abrams, Ron Howard's movie, and then Rogue One. Those are amazing movies, and I feel like Star Wars is told best when you take it out of George Lucas's hands. And I don't want to take anything away from him because he did create it, but his storytelling, outside of that, he did that, THX 30 or 1138, whatever that was, 3811, and then American Graffiti. And they're all very like silly, campy, like just very generic movies.
Yes.
His idea for Star Wars, phenomenal. Like the story, the notes, all the background, the characters, the connections.
Ahead of its time.
Ahead of its beautiful stuff. His storytelling, not the best as far as like directing. And even Harrison Ford has said like he's not the best director to work for. But I think where I really, and this is back to the whole thing with like, I had to like kind of, I guess, put that down for this piece. And I guess it goes back to what I was saying with the remasters. I don't think he should have remastered maybe the first one, but leave Empire and Jedi alone because you didn't direct those. Those were directed by two other people, and you're messing with their film. Like, that was their film, that's what they made. You might have wrote the story, they're your characters, that's fine, but they made that film. And in fact, tonight when I go home, I'm watching the uncut versions. I have the special editions, and then I have the DVD that has the original uncut theatrical releases.
Oh, cool.
And to me, that's how it's meant to be done. And then it just kind of adds a piece where I feel like,
but for the new kids, the new young adults.
I mean, it sells toys and stuff. Sure, it's great.
Yes,
but
I mean,
again, it gives us Star Wars. I think it helped. Like, it got us from 1970s, 80s Star Wars to where we are now, where now we have it everywhere. It's great. I love it. I'm eating it double-fisted. But the idea is that he shouldn't have messed with those. And then what other director do you know who's going to make a movie and then go 20 years later go, oh, no. I wanted to do it this way. It really is how nobody else does that. People might do a cut where they add a film where it's like the director's cut, so it's longer, but they don't go back and go, oh, let's add this, let's add that, let's change this. It's kind of pompous and arrogant, you know?
I agree. The only thing we could ever change and make it any better was the ET video game.
I don't even think. What ET video game?
Yeah.
What does that have to do with Star Wars?
Dude, we were talking about remakes, and I'm just saying, like, listen.
Well, that was another thing, though. That they did that too. Like, they added a bunch of special effects to the ET movie, and they didn't need to do that. Like, leave those things alone. Like I'm saying, like, stop going back and fixing things. Like, what is wrong with it?
But the kids these days, Robert, you know yourself, they like big bang. They want things that happen immediately. And in those new movies, there was tons of action. There was tons of new characters.
No, I don't agree with that.
Jabba the Hutt was
I don't agree. Like, I think what
Okay.
happens is kids eat it because that's what they're fed.
I agree. Okay,
You know?
that's fair.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to take it because that's what they've got.
Yeah.
But if you give them good Star Wars, they're going to eat good Star Wars too. Like, it doesn't have to be.
Well, they ran the series a long ways.
Well, if you look at the first 3 films, they're amazing. They're great, cool
Mhm.
story. You look at the newer ones, and they're basically, yeah, like hour and a half long, 2 hour long toy commercial. This is basically what
Yes.
they are. There's a lot of focus on special effects. There's a lot of focus on sound. There's a lot of focus on pushing the envelope. And so, for me, like the prequels serve a purpose of how do we get storytelling from where it is now into the next evolution, which is what Star Wars did originally. Star
agree.
Wars originally was like, how do we take storytelling and evolve it? We wouldn't have the Harry Potter films and some of the Spider-Man movies that we have today if it wasn't
Yes.
for these films as well. Like, they really, all the special effects, lights, industrial lights and magic,
Yep.
all helped. But at the end of the day, man, I just don't think they're hard. I watched them. They're part of the story. I think it adds value to the background. I think it helps you give like some investment to those characters.
I agree. I mean, I think, and that's,
But-
I'm gonna go back and watch them myself because I want to kind of get a better opinion because myself, I thought the new ones were pretty good.
No, like, look, and hear me out. Hear me out. I don't hate them.
No.
Yeah. But it's just they're not my favorite.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, and I think like
I love all Star Wars people.
Oh, I do too.
I
I do
love all-
too. They all have their point, but I think like when you take like Anakin before he becomes Darth Vader completely,
Mm-hmm.
when they do the show where he's like he has the low ground
Sure.
and he ends up losing his arm, he loses that fight.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been really interesting if they had done that in the 80s and 70s to see how they would have portrayed that
Oh,
and
sure.
how they could have actually filmed that.
Right.
Because James Earl Jones was an amazing Darth Vader.
Well, you know that wasn't him in the suit.
No, it was. It was
Yeah.
who was in the suit?
David Prowse.
Is that who? It was? Okay.
Yeah.
But the voice was amazing.
Right. Yeah.
You know, but Anakin, the way they portrayed that, and when he comes out and you see his face and you see what he looks like, it gives more because of the youth and everything else. I think it.
Well, and see, that was something too that bothered me because there's some inconsistency where, you know, you have the voice of Vader, which is all just because of the apparatus,
Yes.
and then you meet Anakin as a kid, and he's like this, you know, he's holding me back, and he won't let me be a Jedi, and he's like,
Yep.
he's just got this normal accent, right? But what happened to him? What happened to him when like you get to Return of the Jedi and they take the helmet off, and he's like, he look at you, and he's got like this English accent.
Yep.
All of a sudden, like, where did that? So like, again,
Exactly.
why didn't they cast like an English actor to play Anakin as a young man, or at least make Hayden do like an English act? It's just a very like American accent. Then you have a voice that sounds like this.
Exactly.
Then you got this other voice that's like, let me look at you just one last time with my own eyes, and it's like, you know,
Yes.
it's like, it's such a weird. So like, again, there are little things that I look
It's
at that
campy.
it's yeah. So, but look, let's wrap up this piece. I want to jump back in. I want to keep these kind of edits kind of short.
Yes.
I want to do a 2-part, and let's wrap this up. Don't go anywhere. Hang tight. We're going to come right back. When we do, we're going to talk a little bit more about Star Wars, maybe what got us into it, and then I'll show you guys all the issues that we talked about today. So thanks for tuning in. Hang tight. Don't go anywhere, and we will be right back.